Oh crap, that, oh, yeah, it's working.
Not so fast, sis. 10.
Okay, today we are going to be talking about CPR, and especially CPR with babies. As you can see with this, it's CPR for small children, and this is going to be my animal that is going to help us demonstrate how to do CPR on babies. Okay, so I have my Red Cross lifeguard certification. We practice with adults, small children, and babies, and I also have my other certifications, AED, and things like that. So I think my knowledge on that will help with this demonstration today. I already said I'm CPR trained for small children, and we're just going to be focusing on babies for today. What would you do if you saw a baby that wasn't breathing? Would you feel like you would be prepared to step in and save the child's life? Assume you are the only one that knows CPR. So this video clip is about a mother, no, it's actually an aunt, that she was the only one, and she actually asked two bystanders. And you guys can watch it for just a second.
Sebastian de la Cruz is in the hospital in critical but stable condition after a scare that no one could describe as nightmarish.
I'll hold it.
Pamela Rossio was stuck in traffic with her nephew, Sebastian, strapped into his car seat in the back where the baby stopped breathing. The pictures captured by a Miami Herald photographer who happened to also be stuck in traffic tell the story. A frantic Pamela screamed for help and repeatedly did CPR on her baby nephew as police officers and strangers came to her aid. Very heroic. Pamela joins me.
Okay, so then she later goes on to say, let's see if I can get out of this first. She later goes on to say that she actually asked two people to help her give CPR, and not one of them knew none of them knew. So she didn't do CPR, then that nephew would have died. But she actually didn't have the skills necessary. She just had the basic foundations of chest compressions and breathing. So steps you need to do when you do see that a child isn't breathing is to call 911 first and begin CPR, or have a bystander call 911 and then perform it yourself. 1 in 5 children under the ages of 14 drown, so this is another perfect reason that every parent or even everyone in society should know CPR, just because that is a really high statistic for children that are drowning. And also know water safety to prevent drowning. Be aware of your child, know the steps, know what drowning looks like, so you can be prepared so you don't have to do CPR. CPR, it can triple the child's chance of survival, so it goes back to only 46% of bystanders know CPR. So there's a 50% chance that if you rely on someone else to be prepared for your child, you probably won't end up getting CPR, and it will decrease it by triple percent. And then also, 4 out of 5 heart-related problems happen at the home. So since you're going to be the first responder for your child, it's the perfect way so your child has the best chance of survival is knowing CPR. Okay, so this is where we're going to start talking about the actual CPR for a toddler, infant, and when to use adult compressions. So for an infant, this is like a small baby, probably I would say to a year old, where they're just a little newborn baby. So usually when you have it, I'll just demonstrate it on the ground. So this is a small baby. You have to make sure that their nose is tilted up, and you can just kind of make sure that their head's tilted back. And you only want to use 2 fingers. You always see in the shows going like this, but for a baby, you don't want to do that. So you see their nipples, you take a triangle down, so it's about in the middle of their breastplate. You put 2 fingers here, make sure their head's back, and you do 30 compressions. No, you do 15 compressions to 2 breaths for an infant, and they have to go pretty fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And with the breath, you want to do 2 puffs. So our lungs are bigger than babies, and if you were to go a full breath, that wouldn't be good for their lungs, so you just do a puff, puff. So you do 15. Make sure hold the nose and go puff, puff, and then you keep going, 15, and then you repeat the cycle until help has arrived. And then, lastly, for a toddler, I would say the toddler is about this big, so probably a 4 or 5-year-old, or even probably a 2-year-old. That's when you can start doing compressions like this, and you want to make sure it's the rule of only going halfway through their body. So their body's about this thick. So make sure when you do compressions, your hands aren't going all the way to the bottom of to the ground, only halfway. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's about every second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But for a toddler, you do 30 compressions to 2 breaths. So that's the only difference: 15 and 2 breaths, 30 and 2 breaths. And then for adult, you can tell what an adult is. Now you can do it even harder compressions. You never want to bend your elbows, go straight down, and that's 30 to 2. And then conclusion, anything can happen to a child. Only 46% of bystanders know CPR, so just be prepared. Know this for your child. 30 to 2, 15 to 2. Thanks for coming. Bye.